Yo, what's up guys, Shujinkydink here with another video to entertain or assist you becoming the better Injustice 2 player. And this video is all about the stats in Injustice 2. There's a little bit to go into here, and the whole reason that they went away from the whole 60% damage, 50% damage, that kind of thing, is the gear system. The gear system allows you to equip different kinds of armor to increase different sorts of stats. So there is a kind of a base knowledge to be known here for competitive play, but this is mostly going to be geared towards the gear players. So the first two stats that I want to talk about are the strength and ability stat. So the strength stat affects all your physical attacks. As you can see here, right below the move type it says move affected by strength stat. Here we have the special moves which are affected by the ability stat. So if I'm a character like Swamp Thing, for example, and I want my character to do the most damage possible, Swamp Thing is really based on his grab attacks. So I want my ability to be very high so that I can do extra damage with his grab. I don't really need to use my physical attacks that much because they're kind of slow and clunky, and his throws are kind of where it's at. So if you increase your ability stat, like this is just base stats and look how much damage that does. If you get some really good gear going with some abilities, it's going to do a lot of damage. And the opposite can be said for a character like Superman, who is really reliant on his normals, his good spacing, and just raw damage. Of course, the ability stat can help you in all different types of ways, but you really want to see what the strengths of your character are, the moves, and kind of build your gear set from there. So the second two stats are defensive stats. So we have defense and HP. So defense, of course, the higher the defense, the less damage your character is going to take. So if you look at base stats, we have Aquaman, Firestorm, Superman, and Wonder Woman, for example, that all have a defense of 1,000. I believe that's the highest in the game. That means that if you're practicing combos, and this is a competitive trick, if you're practicing combos, practice it on them, because if whatever amount of damage you do on them, you can do a lot more against a character with lower defense, like say Darkseid, for example. That's night and day. Darkseid has the lowest defense in the game. However, he makes up for it for having high hit points and very high strength. So he is kind of like a tank kind of character, a glass cannon per se. So if you're playing with gear on and you want to use someone like Darkseid, I would recommend trying to find some gear that kind of makes up for that hole in his defense. So that way he has great strength, great ability, very good HP, and then he'll have decent defense, and he's just an all-around balanced character. I've seen some people mistakenly say things like, well, I just practice my combos on Robin because Robin has exactly 1,000 HP, so I know that if I do 600 damage, then that's 60%. And that's not entirely true, because that's also taking into account Robin's personal defense. So if you do an attack against Robin who has 1,000 HP, that isn't going to do the same as somebody who has a higher defense or perhaps a lower defense. Alright, so here's a super basic combo against Robin. So that does 277 damage. So against Robin, that would be approximately 27%. That makes sense for Robin. Now we're going to perform the same combo on Superman. So on Superman it does 268 damage, which is significantly less because Superman has a higher defense. And lastly, we're going to perform the exact same combo on Darkseid, who has the lowest defense in the game. He does 349 damage. So we're able to figure out exactly the percentage that our combo does by doing a little bit of math. You must divide the actual damage that you do by the amount of health that your character has, and then you'll get the true percentage there. So if we do our math for a little combo that we did, our combo did against Darkseid 31% damage, against Robin 27.7%, and Superman 25.5% damage. So you can still figure out the percentages that your combos do, but this isn't really something that I'd recommend going too far into. I would just find the best combo damage you can do against a Superman or somebody else with a high defense, and make sure to use that as much as possible, because you know that it just goes down, or sorry, it just goes up from there. And that's it, guys. That's basically all there is to know about the stats in Injustice 2, how to figure out how much percentage your combos do, if that's something you want to know about. Like I said, they introduced this more for the gear system, so that different gears could update your stats in different ways. At a competitive aspect, it's a little bit more simplified. Like I mentioned, just practice your combos on Superman. They do good damage against him, they'll do great damage against everybody else. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, because it really helps me out. And subscribe, because we make videos every single day. Hashtag Bonehawks and all that stuff, and we'll see all you guys in the next video.
Accept your death.